Many thanks for joining us for another edition of Newsline. I am Jennifer Igwe. Most of our stories today are laced with culture and breathtaking ceremonies that mirror age-long traditions. And although the Eid al-Fitr celebrations have come and gone, vibes from series of activities that marked it still resonate. Today, you will get to see colorful Durbar displays and how the tradition triumphs over COVID-19 restrictions. Meanwhile, there is a saying that when twins get separated, their spirits fly away to look for the other. And when they are together, they are often powerful. Myth or fact? I really can't answer that, honestly. So imagine the scenario when twins unleashed their passion to celebrate Eid al-Fitr. Our correspondent has a feature on this rare occasion. Then beyond the Eid al-Fitr, events around us amplify the essence of culture in our lives and society. However, with the influence of westernization, some now believe cultural values are better left in the past. Do you agree? Well, our story on the relevance of culture and tradition in a modern society examines this. We will also find out what played out at the traditional honor of a veteran broadcaster. I'll stop here now for the news segment. Elizabeth Omori in Abuja is set to take it. I'll be back for more. Hello, Lizzie. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too, and thank you so much for joining us in Abuja. President Muhammad Buhari is in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, ahead of the 15th session of the Conference of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the conference with the theme Land, Life, Legacy from Scarcity to Prosperity begins on Monday.
It was a befitting welcome for President Muhammadu Buhari on arrival at Felix Houphouët-Boigny International Airport, Abidjan at 5 o'clock Sunday evening local time. Top officials of the government of Cote d'Ivoire, led by the newly appointed Vice President Teomoko Meliat Kone, were on hand to receive the Nigerian leader. Also at the airport to welcome the president were Nigeria's ambassador to the West African nation, ministers of foreign affairs, environment, agriculture and water resources, the National Security Advisor, Director General, National Intelligence Agency, and other senior government officials. President Buhari is expected to join other world leaders at a high-level summit to take action towards ensuring that land, the lifeline on the planet, continues to benefit present and future generations. They, alongside other key stakeholders, will also explore links between land and other key development issues of the moment as the fight against desertification, land degradation, and drought continues.
And Nigeria would join the other countries to be making a national statement to update the world on how much we are doing in order that we combat these problems that have direct bearing on the life of our people, on the safety and security in our own country. The President, as the President of the Pan-African Great Green Wall, has a leadership responsibility, to speak for about 11 of these other countries that are members to convince the donors who have put together 3.5 billion euros, which as we speak now has still not been accessed. And we need to establish a convincing mechanism for accessing it so that the donors would be willing to offer this money so that our countries would embark on such programs as tree planting and the reclamation of land, the empowerment of small farmers and establishment of climate resilient infrastructure, and many others.
President Buhari is expected back in Abuja on Tuesday. From Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In a bit of security, President Muhammad Buhari has commended the military's positive outcomes based on their current operational trajectory in Northwest and particularly Zamfara State, which has been a hotbed of criminal activities. In a statement, the president, who observed the relative calm in most parts of the state, noted breaches, especially in view of the bandits' attack on some villages in Bakura local government area. The president therefore directs that the momentum must be sustained in order to bring closure to the activities of the murderers, even as he condoles with the families of the victims as well as government and people of the state, adding that the combined efforts of federal and state governments will definitely bring immediate end to the horrific killings. In pursuance of their collective goal to combat insecurity and maintain peace, the military, paramilitary and other security officials are seeking God's intervention to tackle the nation's security challenges and ways of offering better services to their fatherland. This was at the National Conference of the Military and Other Security Agencies held in Abuja. Charles Alpha reports.
Beside the statutory mandates of defending the nation, curbing violence and maintaining peace, these security personnel are prayer warriors, worship and praise leaders, and of course, good dancers. It is the national conference of all the security personnel in Nigeria, championed by the Federal Road Safety Corps and the Nigerian Military Christian Fellowship. These officers are here for the purpose of peace and security of the nation.
About the insecurity in the country, it's good to come together like this to pray over it for the nation itself.
At the course of our duty, we have to employ spirituality to combat forces.
We are fighting drug war all over this country, and we are understanding that the criminals are taking over, and then we want to come back to God and ask God to take charge of this country.
Pastor Paul Enenche, in his sermon to the officers, encouraged them to serve without eye service, with obedience to the authority and fear of God.
As people in the paramilitary and military setting, we come under a lot of pressure. And if we do not understand what to do, we might find ourselves at the end of the day having performed physical duty and failed before God.
You are preserving, you're going out and you're coming in.
There were sessions of prayers for peace and God's intervention in the nation's security challenges. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
In a bit of aviation now, Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, has withdrawn its planned action as regards the suspension of domestic airline operations earlier scheduled for Monday, 9th of May 2022. In a statement jointly signed by the Chief Executive Officer of major domestic airlines in the country, the group said it is withdrawing its initial action based on numerous appeals. The statement further explained that the development will allow a fresh round of dialogue with government in the hope of reaching an amicable solution. AON said the decision was also propelled by the highest consideration for air travelers who have been faced with uncertainty over the last few days and to enable them have access to travel to their various destinations for the time being during the period of discussion with relevant authorities. President Muhammad Buhari joins family, friends and associates to rejoice with renowned agriculturist and philanthropist Asiwaju Khamis Badmus as it turns 76 on May 9, 2022. The president congratulates the management and staff of Tunes Group, particularly the Tunes Farms Nigeria Limited, as they celebrate a visionary leader whose resourcefulness continues to inspire. President Muhammad Buhari notes the diligence, foresight and patriotism of Asiwaju Badmus over many years, favoring only what is good and right for the country in investments and placing the welfare of his staff and many dependents above self. As the former president of Poultry Association of Nigeria, the president commends the dedication and courage of Asiwaju Badmus in turning the fortunes of poultry farmers around and making it more attractive for the youth, especially as veritable business. The president prays for more strength and good health for the Asiwaju Muslimi of Yoruba land. The body of Catholic Bishops' Conference of West Africa has elected Reverend Alexis Twabili Tolu, the Bishop of the Diocese of Agboville, Côte d'Ivoire, as its new president. He emerged as the end of the fourth plenary of the General Assembly in Abuja. Austin Ayebe reports.
The new president takes over from Nigeria's Most Reverend Ignatius Kigama. The body of Catholic Church leaders in West Africa, at a press conference at the end of their meeting, called on Christian politicians in the sub-region to be guided by Pope Francis' admonition that the church is first and foremost a place of hope that exemplifies brotherhood, and tasked leaders on quality governance anchored on freedom and humane disposition.
Now it's time to go back home and begin to seriously see how we can promote brotherhood and sisterhood among our people. All the differences, the prejudices, the stereotypes that divide us, we should be able to do something seriously about them. And I'm happy that with our prayers and goodwill, we shall really have a very strong family of Catholics in West Africa, and with our government working together with us, we shall give the best to our people.
The bishops later converged on the Catholic Papa's ground in Kubwa, Abuja, for a Thanksgiving. The Catholic Episcopal Bishop Conference of West Africa takes place periodically in Abuja. Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Into gender talks, mothers are widely described as bedrocks of families and by extension the society. This is not far-fetched, as many schools of thought define the place of mothers as strategic and constantly adding value to the world. These descriptions resonated as residents of Uyo joined the global community in celebrating the 2022 International Mother's Day. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Going by the roles of mothers as caregivers, protectors, mentors, teachers, and many more, one is likely to agree that a day like this, set aside to appreciate the place of motherhood and the enormous contributions and sacrifices mothers make for the society, are worthwhile.
Giving kudos to all mothers in the society and saying Happy Mother's Day and God bless all women.
Just like today, we are telling our children, do you know what it means to carry people full 9 months in the mother's womb? And then on the day of delivery, we cry, we shout before we bring you forth, that we are what celebrated.
The benefit we shared in being a woman is enormous.
The men are also not left out of this, as they eulogize mothers who they describe as worthy partners.
All mothers should be respected because they have done a duty that even women would have not passed through.
Mothers are very, very important in the society. Even in the family, you cannot really do much without mothers.
Women are the cradle of creation. Good women produce good men.
The day is widely believed to have originated in 1907.
Indeed, mothers rule the world. Meanwhile, women in youth of Southern Senatorial District of Plateau State have presented expression of interest form to the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talin, to join the senatorial race. The presentation was made during a solidarity visit to the minister in Abuja. Ngozi Teknikyo reports.
In their numbers from the 6 LGAs making up the Southern Senatorial District, Plateau State, they visited the private residence of the minister in Abuja. Felicia Bala, leading the group, the track records of the minister are the selling points, and also informed the calling for further service at the Senate.
The women and youths of Plateau South collected all the collectibles, and we are able to make it possible. And we bought the form for you to come out for the senatorial seat.
In a rather emotional-laden mien, the minister accepts the offer, promising not to perform below the standard expected of her by the group and the Nigerian woman.
And I want to dedicate this senatorial seat to all the women in the south of God. Amen. For the upliftment of women, to address issues affecting women and children. Yes. What you have done is a big surprise to me. I've been under pressure. I thank you all. And by the grace of God, God being with us, we will succeed. Amen. And I will never fail you. Amen.
Talks over, the visit iced with the presentation of the APC senatorial forms to the minister. Forms purchased by the group. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
The envisioned national unity and peaceful coexistence in Nigeria could be achieved if the fraternity among various ethnic nationalities in the cosmopolitan city, Kano, is extended to all states of the Federation. This was the opinion of Igbo community leaders during the inauguration of the newly elected executive members presided over by Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
For many years, Kano has been a major rendezvous of the Igbo community outside the southeastern part of Nigeria. Not only as residents, the business-oriented community makes a significant contribution to the economic development of the northern commercial hub. The harmonious coexistence between Igbos and the host community is strengthening the bond of brotherhood among them, as seen during the inauguration of the recently elected executives of the Igbo Community Association in Kano.
Kano State has shown us that indeed there can be progress and there can be unity where we come together. Look at me, I'm so called disciples. We are members of Cabinet Council. Igbos build beautiful houses, very expensive houses, because they felt that there is no need to build a temporary house, because Kano is not a temporary place for them.
Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, while appreciating their contribution to the economic development of the state, named the Java estate developed through investments of the Igbo business community new in Enugu City. He assured of the state government's commitment to creating a conducive environment for all in Kano. Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
2 pregnant women have been arrested for alleged attempt to export 7 parcels of cannabis sativa, a sachet of ecstasy drug, and 300 tablets of 200 milligrams and 225 milligrams high-dosage tramadol capsules concealed in crayfish and cartons of alcohol. She was arrested alongside a freight agent at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. In the same vein, a Brazilian returning was arrested during an inward clearance of passengers at the Lagos airport for alleged possession of 2 parcels of 800 grams of cocaine concealed in his backpack. Meanwhile, large consignments of over 700 kilograms of psychoactive substances were intercepted in Kaduna, Yobe, and Plateau states. 13 suspects were arrested in connection with the crime. And next,